this is like the last segment I always try to do with my show, and I try to pull a list of questions. I call it 10 rounds of
Okay.
just about people might not know about you. So I start off. I know we were talking about music at the very beginning. Who's your favorite artist?
Musically, Creedence Clearwater for sure. I love Fogerty. I love his '70s sensibility. I love that band broke and became rock and roll uh, stadium stars. You know, after the Beatles, they actually filled in for the Beatles at one point. Um, I love how they were hippies from San Francisco, but could sound like they were out of the bayou, out of Louisiana. And I just love the stories that they told in their music. And as much as anything, maybe their bass line, it moves me. It keeps me moving.
Beautiful. I saw John Fogerty. I don't know if I saw CCR, but I saw John obviously by himself because they're
Yeah,
not.
yeah. They
I
had
saw
kind of
him.
a rough falling
Yeah,
out.
that's a rough one. But I saw John open for ZZ Top, and I was so happy.
Nice.
I just got to see them because Dusty Baker died maybe about a half a year later. So
Oh, wow. Yeah, you got to see
I got
Dusty.
to slide
Yeah.
into home plate just in time. So I'm very grateful for that one. But
ZZ
what
Top is another great, obviously a great band. Lagrange is one of those songs. So there's two, like when I need a pick me up or I need to like get jacked up for a scene, I will listen to Commotion by CCR and I will listen to Lagrange by ZZ Top. And those two songs speak to me a lot.
Sweet. Next one up. What is your favorite album of all time?
Oh man, this is a music question still. And so
So I always tell people, like, because I wouldn't be able to answer this without saying about four or something. So if you have more than one, go for it.
yeah. Interestingly, I think that the albums are based on times in your life, and so um, that Green River CCR album. When I was a little boy, my parents played that a lot. Uh, John Denver had an album out, I think, called it was probably the greatest hits, but it might have been called "Thank God I'm a Country Boy." I love that album. Um, The Killers have an album out called Sam's Town that I like a lot. You know, here's a domino story. Brian Austin Green and Ian Ziering and myself are spending a lot of time together. We're in Las Vegas. We're hitting all the restaurants. We're hitting all the clubs. We're hitting on gambling. And we get a call from Wire Image that says, would you guys like to come and shoot an album cover? And we're like, we really thought we were, you know, big time. We're doing this huge studio film, and we're like, no, who's the band? And we didn't know who they were. They're like, well, they're a local band from Vegas, and they're going to do this Russian Roulette album cover, and they'd love for you guys. And we're like, we're going to see Green Day. We're not going to go do. Anyway, it turned out the band was the Killers. And I've always tried to reach Brandon Flowers and say, hey, man, I'm sorry. I would like to come see. He's never responded again to me. But I do like that Killers Sam's Town album. And I'd be remiss if I didn't, in all of the music, reference um, Johnny Cash Ride This Train is a good album that I like. And Marty Robbins has a Gunfighter album, The Stories of the Gunfighter, that I like. And I love the Foo Fighters. So I think they're one of our great rock and roll bands.
Sweet. All right. Third, this be right up your alley because I bet you got some a curveball, or maybe I don't. I don't know. What's your favorite venue to see a show at?
The venue to see a show at is Tipitino's in New Orleans.
I see. I knew you would have a good one.
Tips is a great place, and why it's great is because it's very intimate. It's an old room that has great sound, and usually you are seeing somebody who wants to play there, so they've either not broke yet or they have broke but want to have a little tradition. So I've seen some incredible bands. you know, and been able to kind of just connect with the band and tell them how much I loved them. People like Better Than Ezra, or um, the Counting Crows. I remember one night being with them with Adam. I think Adam Duritz is his name, from the lead singer.
I know his first name's Adam. I don't know. I can't say his last.
Yeah, I think he might be out of Baltimore or DC area, you know. And so Tips is a great place. If you get to New Orleans, that's a perfect venue to see a show.
Sweet. Here's a good one now. This is the last one of the music too. What is the artist that you think is this underrated, which you just don't understand why they're not like gigantic, like, or bigger than they should be?
Huh, that is an interesting. You know, I'm all about the story. So music is storytelling, a big part of it for me. And there was an artist that came out that really spoke to me during my Walking Dead uh,
Okay.
world, and his name was Citizen Cope.
I worked him. I worked that show a few times actually. When they come through Philly.
I
Okay.
thought he was kind of fantastic. I thought his sound was really unique, and I guess I didn't get why more people didn't get him. But maybe he's like a little hidden, like Wilco, kind of a little hidden genius, you know?
Sweet. All right, shifting away from music. Just curious because you're a film guy. You're probably all over the place. What's your favorite like place outside of the country? Like any particular country or city that you just I love going there. Like that's just my place.
Yeah, Berlin is by far the city that I just and it's just because it's so rife with artistry, and they still give their artists respect, and they haven't priced them out. They can still live in town. There's so much music. There's so much film. There's so much literature. There's so much paint on canvas art. It's really incredible. And so I just think the city's real vibrant. I like Germany. So I like Berlin. Out of London, Paris, um, Prague, Amsterdam. I like Berlin.
Sweet. All right. Switching into the acting world, back to the acting world. We'll say, who's your favorite actor?
Paul Newman, I love him. You referenced him in Slapshot. My favorite movie that he did would be The Verdict, actually, because I thought his performance was so nuanced. But I also love him in HUD and Cool Hand Luke. And so just about anything, and Butch Cassidy, just anything that I've ever seen him in, I got to audition for a movie that I think Nobody's Fool. And I wanted to get that role so bad. And then I remember I did a voiceover audition for the original Cars movie, and I didn't get that either, but he was in that. So I don't have any crossover with Mr. Newman, but that would be great. And I love him. And then there's a character actor named Warren Oates who I like very, very much. Uh, and he was one of Sam Peckinpah's guys, and I think he was kind of genius, kind of incredible. And there's a guy out working right now. Uh, well, there's several, but my contemporaries, but people like Walton Goggins, Sam Rockwell, and there's an actor named Bill Camp, and I think their work is exceptional, along with like Michael Shannon too.
Michael Shannon. To me, it's like Michael Shannon and Daniel Day-Lewis. I almost say like I don't believe other actors, but like
Yeah,
when Michael Shannon hits there, like that guy just seemed and Daniel Day, they just seem to like everything they're doing is completely real. you know,
yeah,
even
yeah,
Michael Shannon in Man of Steel, I was like, wow, like look how mad this guy is in his role of I was just doing my job. My job was to protect Krypton. Why the hell am I on trial? Like that intense that he brings in Boardwalk Empire. I mean, he's freaking amazing.
yeah. He does. Where we see him for the first time in a movie Jeff Nichols wrote and directed called Take Shelter. It's an
Yeah.
indie. and it's genius, and nobody believes him that the sky actually is falling, and in the end it does. So he's great, and just kind of going through, am I mad, or is there truth to this? So pretty genius, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So if you have one for this answer, cool. But if you have more than one, that's accepted. What's your favorite flick?
Well, it is always, and not just for the holiday season. It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
I guess I like the um, nostalgic um, message that at bygone times, and I appreciate it. It's a feel good movie, no man who has friends is a failure, and so I really appreciate that movie. So um, I love that movie. The Verdict is right there. I think the psychology of The Verdict, the courtroom drama, the ethos, pathos, the heart wrenching. What the characters need, the conflicts is great. I love that. I like Network. I like this
Oh my
kind of
gosh,
science
great!
fiction.
Tell me, Network wasn't predicting our future.
Yeah, look at
You
us
know,
now.
they were there before all of it. Like, yeah, you can make money here, and that's like chaos. You know.
My favorite horror film, I always say, is Rosemary's Baby. If we, I think that's psychological terror and it's frightening. I also like, as new stuff goes, I like this movie, The Babadook, that came out.
Okay.
Thought it was really, really great about, the horrors of a single mother. Um, so, and let me ask you, if I were going to say, which camp are you, Terrifier or Smile? Is that a fair question?
All right. So all right, too loaded. Smile. When I saw it, I was. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was upset with it because I was like, "This is just like It Follows," and I was like, "It's just it was just a copy and paste." It didn't do it for me. So
Right.
when you say Smile, like I didn't even try Smile too because that agitated me. Now Terrifier, I have hand in the second movie. The final scene between Sienna and Art was fought in Philadelphia. I
Oh,
Damien and Phil Falcone because I came friendly with them. It's like, yo, I could get you a location if you need
oh,
a
great.
so I helped that, and I was also if anybody pays attention, it's so fast. But in the club scene, I am the DJ, so I was there for about 15 days out of the 70 for the
Oh,
filming.
shit.
So I have a connection to the Terrifier. So,
Okay. Okay.
but so I'll obviously I would say more than Smile, that's for sure. But like you say,
Well, we both,
here,
so
I got
you,
I gotta deflect when you say this question to somebody else. They
I
may
get
not
it.
be considered these movies are not slashers, but to me, the James Wan universe is the most important thing that happened in horror since The Devil's Rejects. Because at least, yeah, you got your Conjuring, you got your Annabelle. God, the list goes on and on. But James Wan at least brought us like 7 or 8 franchises. The Nun, like we need new characters, and
Yeah.
I side with James Wan. I say he was the most important thing. Like some people are like, well, they're not slashers. Okay, they're not slashers, but at least you got something new to go with, you know?
Yeah, they definitely have lore. That's the truth. So you're attached to the Terrifier 2, which is super
True.
cool. I'm actually attached to Smile because I did a short film down at Chapman University for these young kids who took it to South by Southwest, called Laura Hasn't Slept, which is the uh, precursor to Smile. It's what got them their deal at Universal. So I am verily attached, and they're
That's
like,
awesome. We're both representing both sides. I dig it. Your own question. That's awesome.
that's right. But I get to go out and socialize with Damien and David Thornton quite a bit. So I always respect and appreciate their work.
Yeah, they're the new boys in town. So I'm more pumped to see what Damien does after Terrifier. Like I'm just
Yeah.
curious after he does this fourth one, what's because he's been on shows talking about like he loves this, but he's got other ideas besides this. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Right.
We'll see what comes up next. Two more. What is that one dream role you want to do before your acting career ends?
Oh, wow. Uh, I don't think I have ever uh I I I would like to try one of these action movie or action hero uh IP, DC Comic, Marvel, one of these roles as I suppose it would be a villain or a sidekick or something. It's just so far out of my box because I feel like I'm kind of an indie character guy, and you don't really see those kinds of guys. Although Walton showed up in I think the Ant Man villainously, and um, we see now and again those guys, but I think it'd be fun to try to be a part of something big like that, um, just from the standpoint of doing it, and also the challenge of a musical. I've never done a musical, although I've been in movies with music, but never really I've never really done a musical, so that might be really.
Brother, I grew up on like Grease and Hair, and I mean, even just go to Footloose and this and that. Like, I love musicals, but I gotta be honest, dude, for me, I'd Peter Brady the whole movie. Like, I'm not,
Oh,
you don't want me singing.
that's funny. That is funny.
Sweet. All right, brother. And the final question for this: who is your favorite person of history from, or even alive, but or with past, that you just love to hear about, that you're just all in on when you hear the person's name?
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm a huge baseball fan, so I love baseball, and so my go-to person is Babe Ruth. I'm fascinated by his time and his place in a country um, that could be taken over by a personality of that magnitude. That a candy bar would be named after him, or if you did something, it
Great
became
answer. I like
Ruthian.
that.
So yeah, so I always take note when I hear a Babe Ruth story.